They're sending it out to all
Hold
the
on.
platforms at the
There we
same
go.
time. Streaming failed on LinkedIn. Okay.
Okay. I think we're live. Another.
Yeah, that's fine with LinkedIn.
Let's do it.
So, all right, here we are. It's Robbie Cornelius. I'm here with the one and only Mark Rodriguez. Okay. And today it's all about getting your products and services out there, letting people know exactly what you do and how you can help them. This man right here is a genius, in my opinion, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to mindset, and just being an overall awesome individual. Mark, you have been training people for how long now
Gosh.
in sales?
So I started my career as an automotive salesperson back in the early 90s, worked my way up and out of a dealership, and then had the good fortune to find someone who saw something in me I didn't see in myself. And that was the ability to just inspire, train, and motivate others in the automotive space. And
Yeah,
so,
Amy.
who's
Sorry
that?
about that. Amy's right there. Go ahead.
Amy. Hey,
Yeah,
Amy.
yeah.
So I've been working in the automotive space, um, doing my best to impact people. What do I mean by impact? Just trying to
Yeah, what
leave,
is impact?
just leaving people better than the way I find them.
Okay.
Giving them skills and strategies and techniques to just master their craft. Automotive selling. I spoke this morning about some misconceptions that people have about automotive,
Yeah,
and the number one reason why people get into the business is to make money.
yeah.
And the challenge they have is the level of training, the quality of training is just not there. I'll give you my experience. My experience was day one, here's your new cars, here's your used cars, you're gonna watch some tapes, you're gonna follow someone who doesn't necessarily share the same values that you do. At that time, I was a brand new father of twin daughters, and I learned very quickly in automotive if it was going to be, it would have to be up to me.
Yeah.
And so, from that perspective, I learned that I wasn't in the business of selling cars. That's the number one
What business
misconception.
are you in if you're not in the business of selling cars? What is
I'm
it?
in the business of helping people find out what they're looking to get access to.
Okay.
And so, whether a person's looking to buy a Highline car
Okay.
or a Toyota, Chevy, doesn't really matter. Everyone has a unique reason or motivation for getting that car.
Okay.
And so, for some people, their car represents freedom, represents luxury, prestige, safety,
Status.
status,
Yeah.
right? So, what I found out was as a salesperson, if you could adopt the philosophy that these folks, they all have stereotypes, they're preconditioned to believe certain things about automotive salespeople.
Okay.
And until you realize that the automotive industry has not created a very welcoming process,
Okay.
it for a lot of people this takes a long time. There's a lot of back and forth between the manager. That's only one aspect of an automotive salesperson's career.
Okay.
Let me elaborate on that just a moment. When you're hired as a salesperson, you're told you're going to have to learn something called the road to the sale. What does that
Okay.
mean? It means you have to master the different steps, the different phases of selling someone a car. And they include the meet and greet. And the meet and greet is really all about showcasing yourself. Because you are judged within the first 10 to 15 seconds of just meeting someone.
Correct.
And people are just
Even if it's unconscious.
100%. They're sizing you up.
Yep.
They are looking at you, and and they can smell and sniff and just sense whether or not you're desperate,
100%.
whether you haven't sold a car,
Correct.
whether you need a car versus need to sell a car versus wanting to help someone get a car.
Because if you're needy, you're gonna be kind of pushy.
Without question.
If you need a sale, if you're just trying to sell something to somebody, you don't really care about what they want. You're just gonna push your agenda on them.
And it's for that reason that the most successful people in the business, they look to first make a connection before making a transaction.
Okay, I love that.
And so, what does connecting mean? Connecting really truly begins with connecting with yourself.
Yeah.
If your one motivation is just to make money, you're gonna leave the business the moment things get difficult.
100%.
But when you realize that you will achieve the most success by adopting the philosophy of number one, looking to make a friend first,
Mm-hmm.
and then selling the car. Because when you're looking to make a friend first, what does it mean to make a friend? Well,
You're
to
comfortable around your friends,
100%.
right?
But in order for you to be interesting,
Yeah,
you have to be interested
in the other
in the other
person.
person. So you have to put their needs before yours.
So let me ask you this: when you were just getting into the automotive space, as someone, you had kids on the way, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
you had two daughters on the way, or two daughters,
Two daughters.
two
Yep,
daughters. You needed to put bread on the table.
100%.
How did you get out of the mindset of just showing up for the money versus showing up to connect with people?
Well, I knew that, well, being raised in a family of five sons. My dad worked multiple jobs.
Okay,
Mom was a stay-at-home mom. We never knew anything. We had no knowledge of how to buy a car, much less a new car, and just a lack of knowledge.
mm,
And so I thought I'd be working this 40-40 plan. You work 40 years and you retire for 40. That plan doesn't exist anymore.
mm,
And so just prior to getting the automotive job, I was working a 9 to 5,
mm,
and I knew that a 9 to 5, I just wasn't going to make it, Robbie.
yeah,
I there was more money at the end of the month than there was month, right?
right,
And so bill collectors don't want to hear that there's no money, right? They want theirs.
correct.
And so I needed to find something that would pay me for my efforts, that would pay me based on performance, that would pay me what I was worth, that
Hmm.
if I worked harder and smarter, I would be able to leverage my time. And
That's
so
wow.
I adopted the philosophy of just real, and it wasn't easy. I made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
Um, and I will tell you, I felt the pressure at home because, my wife at the time, she was the one handling the checkbook.
yeah,
And every day I would see that look in her eye. Did you sell something today? And there were times I didn't want to go home.
wow.
I didn't want to go home. But I understood that commission based business,
Hmm.
it was the only business for me at that time that would allow me the opportunity to just maximize my desire, my will, my commitment.
Why are so many people afraid of commission? 'Cause-
Because they want that certainty that if they're gonna punch a clock,
yeah, they're gonna
they're
get
gonna get a
paid.
check,
Yeah.
right? During the pandemic, though, let me tell you what happened in the automotive industry. While I started at a time where the internet was in its birth. Customers were, if they wanted information, they would go to their local dealer.
Hmm.
With the birth of the internet, now customers had choices,
Hmm.
right? And so I understood really early on, I understood that it was not enough to just know your product. It wasn't enough to show up.
Mm.
Where preparation meets with opportunity, magic happens. What
Okay.
do I mean?
Preparation meets with
With
opportunity.
opportunity,
I love that.
magic happens. And
Mm.
so, what do I mean by that? Preparation in the automotive business, it doesn't start when you walk in the door. Preparation starts the night before. You have a clear understanding of what it is I want to accomplish tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? Because success leaves clues,
Right.
right? You can't hide from the numbers.
Correct.
And there's a formula for every business out there. And so in the automotive space, number of phone calls you make and take, the number inbound and outbound, the number of people that you get yourself in front of.
Okay.
A lot of salespeople have this misconception that because they're working for an automotive brand like Toyota or Mercedes Benz, that just by virtue of having that nameplate up there, that you are now entitled to
To
sell
sell a
X amount
car.
of cars.
Yeah.
And that's not the case.
Yeah. You got
Because
to earn it.
a person can buy a car anywhere.
Yeah.
The question you have to always ask yourself is, why should you buy from me?
Right.
Right? And
I don't
so
have to settle I don't have to do business with you if I don't want to do business with you.
1,000%.
I might even want that car, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to buy it from you.
Well, here's the thing. Understand today, flash forward to 2023, customers are spending hours online.
Yeah.
They're doing their research, and they are finding out who you are just by clicking on Google and looking at your reviews,
Correct.
right? So you'll find in many dealerships, a lot of salespeople don't realize it. It's like, wait a second, the customer comes in, is Mark there? Let's speak to Mark. I'm Mark. Did I sell you a car? No. I read your reviews. I found
Mm-hmm.
out about you. So when I train automotive stores today, number one thing I tell salespeople to differentiate yourself, you've got to get those reviews.
That's
You've
awesome.
got to, and you have to make it really easy for a customer to give you a review.
So let's talk about the end result that you provide for people.
Yeah.
All right. A person comes to you, they don't know anything about sales, they don't know anything about automotive for the most part. In the shortest amount of time, explain to people how you can take a person from being absolutely fearful about sales to feeling confident in making sales.
Well, number one, I always share my story, and I say that if I could do it, you can too.
Mm,
Right? And I was working under a lot of duress, a lot of stress, and fear. There were some fearful times back then.
yeah,
Times were not great, but I knew that if I just stayed consistent, if I if I believed in myself, I believed that I was the best person to serve this person, if I believed I worked for the best dealership, if I understood that in the automotive industry, man, if I wanted a raise, all I need to do is just sell a car.
correct,
But here's the thing, in automotive, your raise becomes effective the moment you do,
correct.
which meant that I had to become effective and that I had to grow and be adaptable to the changing times. So during the pandemic, what you found out there was customers were paying a premium for the lack of inventory.
Mm,
And so they were paying that premium and they weren't receiving value. Like I was in a store where I saw a customer come out of the box, the F&I box. They just signed the paperwork, and the salesperson said, "Well, I have a customer here now, so if you want to figure out how to, work your car, go on YouTube." It was like
wow,
that. Yeah, it was bad. It was
wow,
bad. I was disgusted when I
wow.
saw that.
Jeez.
But there was a lot of money to be made in during the pandemic. So salespeople who came in
Because inventory was scarce, right?
very scarce.
And people kind of settled for the bad treatment just to
They
get the
needed the
thrill
car.
of getting a new car. Yeah.
And it wasn't that they wanted a car. People were getting cars during the pandemic because they had to get a car.
Mm,
Their leases
mm,
were coming up. Their
mm,
car broke down,
mm.
right? And so,
Gotcha.
and what that created at that time was a situation where if there's an inventory shortage, now people were holding on to their cars longer because word got around you're going to pay a real premium for these cars. So what that did also, it provided another outlet for me to serve dealerships
Yeah.
by helping dealerships step up their game in service, by doing a
Awesome.
better job of showing up as the best version of themselves for the dealership and the customer in delivering world-class service both on the phone and face-to-face.
What's one of your top tips from going to a zero in your mind to a hero in your mind?
Never give up.
Never give up.
Never, ever, ever, ever give up. Just stay the course.
Okay.
Work harder on you than what you will for anyone else. Because at the
That's
end
powerful.
of the day, most salespeople don't realize that in the automotive business, while they do receive a check weekly
Yeah.
that's got the name of a manufacturer on it, they're really in business for themselves. They're a business within a business.
So they got to think like a business owner.
100%, which means they're given a phone. They have to master that phone,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
They're given business cards. They have to, and here we are, 2023.
Yeah.
So I help automotive salespeople, improve their image and give them a better way of communicating to their customers via digital business cards.
Mark, there's a person right now that's either in automotive sales or they're thinking about getting in automotive sales. Clearly explain how you can help them and where they can go to contact you to help them master this game of automotive sales.
Absolutely. So if you're looking to step up your game in a new career, if you've been downsized, outsized, right sized, and you're looking for a way, an opportunity to really step out of the doom and gloom what you might be going through, definitely connect with me, Mark Rodriguez. I'll give you my cell phone number. It's 973-986-1055. My email is mark@autoclientcare.com. And if you reach out to me, I'll get you a free ebook that'll really describe 5 or 6 strategies that'll help you take you from zero to hero.
That's powerful. Thank you for your
You're very
time,
welcome, man.
Mark.
Appreciate you.
Man,
Thank
this
you.
dude is a master at what he does. This, to me, There are different levels and different people at every level, and Mark is at the top of his game. Reach out to him. Reach out to him. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Thank you.
All right. We got another powerful entrepreneur coming up, and she has a unique product to offer. And most importantly, I'm going to turn this around to let her get her shine. I'm going to talk about, yes, boom, voila. We are here, all right, with Kellen from Cards That Wow. And she's going to be joined by Mr. Sidney Tarver right here.
Yeah.
So I want to be off camera. I'm going to let you guys be on camera.
Well,
And oh, go ahead.
no, I was just saying, I just wanted to I was going to have somebody experience what I do. Because what I do is I don't just make greeting cards or note cards or thank you notes. I help my clients, my relationships build strong and long-lasting relationships. So one of the examples I had that I brought is you're going to pretend like you're a real estate. I'm a real estate agent, and I just closed a residential sale with you, and I want to give you a gift. So the gifts that I create for my clients are they're normally gift wrapped, but I knew we didn't have time for that today. So thank you for buying a phone from me.
I appreciate you serving me with the great diligence. Let's get into it.
So what I've done with this is I've taken the original house key from the sale of the home.
Wow.
And I actually did this as a sample of mine because when I moved to Georgia, I was so excited because the key meant more to me than a key to a house.
Wow.
It was a new beginning.
Like this.
And I just created my own little home sweet home. But I've done this for other realtors as well.
That is absolutely phenomenal. What was the thought process behind coming up with this idea?
Because I wanted my clients to be able to give a gift that didn't necessarily have their branding on it, but would be something that they would hang up in their home, and then they would hang it on their walls, and they would think of you every day they saw it. It's 24/7 with top of mind marketing without being obnoxious.
Wow, that's absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you for yours.
Yeah, and somebody that just closed on a home, receiving something like that means so much to them.
And then I do the same thing for my corporate clients.
Okay.
So say you want to give me a gift.
Yes.
You would send me, not me a gift.
What if I wanted to give you the gift that keeps on giving?
Well, it would be very similar to that. So say I was your client and you wanted to give me a gift, Cards That Wow would take my branding and put it in that frame.
Oh, okay.
And then it would be gift wrapped and handwritten note that would go with it.
So you're offering premium gifts to people.
Yes.
So they can't just bulk order this at any place. This is customized.
Everything I make is custom.
That's absolutely
everything is special order. I have no stock.
Wow.
But when it's the same concept, you give me the gift of my brand. I mean, if you think about it, when you're building your business, your brand is you put your blood, your sweat, your tears into it. It's everything. It's your identity.
Yep.
And when you give somebody that gift, they hang it on their wall. And again, they're thinking of you like, oh my God, Robbie bought that for me. He is so cool.
Yeah.
They may not need you right away.
Yeah.
But it's going to be hanging on that wall until it falls down.
Correct. Correct.
And when they need your service, they're going to go, oh yeah, Robbie did that. I need to give him a call.
That's phenomenal. There's a company by the name of Social Sprout.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started my web design company, one day I got a package in the mail. And I'm like, what the heck is this? I didn't order anything. And they had this plaque that was made out of a puzzle, a maze.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it had our logo in the middle of it. I thought that was so cool. I think it's still hanging up in the house right now. But I remember that. I never did business with them, but I remember the company that sent me that versus all the companies that send me random flyers in the mail that I never remember.
Or things with their brand on it.
Exactly. It's all about the customer, right?
Right. I mean, I've flipped everything around.
I love that.
So, and then if we can go backwards to the bread and butter of my business has been the cards that I make, the branded cards. That's the only thing I really want you to put your brand on.
Okay.
And I actually brought samples.
Let's see.
So
she came prepared.
I did.
Prepared. I love that.
So this one for a musician, a country music.
Whoa. So imagine getting that in the mail or as a gift.
and it's a thank you. So,
Yeah.
well, these are made for clients that I have some corporate clients, and they're glittery, they're 3-dimensional, and when people receive these cards, when you're talking to them on a Zoom call or where you have a video, 9 times out of 10 that card is in the back, and you can see it
That's
as you're
freaking
talking
amazing.
to them.
I still have the card you sent me.
Do you?
Yep, with the meditating.
And then this is one of my favorites. This is just a branding card for a lady that she's looking for a job right now. So I created a brand for her. And
so just imagine being a realtor, and as a closing gift, you give someone with something like what she just sold, what she just showed Mr. Tarver, or a unique thank you card. That's phenomenal.
Mhm.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
What is your turnaround time on average for most people?
48 hours.
48 hours?
Under 100.
Dang.
Under 100.
What?
And I've had orders for 1,000. Those take me like 4 days at the most.
That's phenomenal.
But I've got this down to a science. I've got multiple machines. I'm working while I'm sleeping. I've got things being cut out because everything's handmade.
That's awesome.
There's no bulk discounts because it's as hard to make one as it is to make 1,000 of these.
Do you ship it to your customers in person on their behalf?
I can do that.
You can do
I
that
have
as
corporate
well.
executives that hire me to write thank you notes for them.
Whoa.
They want to give that special, like you're important to me, but they're very busy, and sometimes the wordsmithing doesn't work for them.
Yeah.
So I create the messages. They approve them.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll send them the cards, and then they'll sign them themselves because I refuse to sign somebody's name.
So what made you come up? How did you come up with the name Cards That Wow? Because it's so fitting.
Because when I sent my first, I didn't have the name yet of my business.
Yeah.
I was just coming up with the concept. And I sent a card to a friend, Ronnie Goodman.
Okay.
Goodwin. You know Goodwin?
Goodwin?
You know
Ronnie Goodwin?
I don't know if you guys know him. He's
got the
I met
name
him during
good
the
in there.
Yeah.
I like
Goodwin Graphics.
It's got to be good.
He sent me a card and he called me up. He went, wow. And then every card that I sent to somebody, they said that wow. They literally say wow. So I just came up with Cards That Wow.
Cards That Wow. That's phenomenal. CardsThatWow.com is where people can go to contact you about what you offer.
Yep.
48-hour turnaround on anything under 100 copies.
100 pieces.
100 pieces.
Yeah.
What is the minimum order?
There is no minimum.
No minimum order.
I have subscribers, and I have a lady that started out with 3 cards a month, and now she's up to 40.
How much would 3 cards a month cost a brother?
It depends.
From another mother.
Well, they're depending on the complexity of it. Like this card is pretty simple, but I've got this card that has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 pieces. So they run between $10 and $15 a piece.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
I know.
The price is wow.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. Great price. So instead of going into a dollar store or a Walmart and getting somebody a card that everybody has gotten, you can do something unique for the one you love or the one that you appreciate.
Well, I have clients that instead of sending, they have a prospect that they're trying to grab their attention.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of realtors that do this. They want to get this listing.
Yeah.
They actually, or not maybe, well, the realtor would be that example. Just a client that it has a prospect that they're really trying to get. I'll make a card with the prospect's logo on it for them to send.
I love that.
And then when they open up, they say, wow, if you're going to put this much effort into marketing and getting my attention,
100%.
I want to work with you.
I want to work with you.
Yeah.
I love that. So you have Cards That Wow.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you came across something from somebody else that made you go wow?
That's a good question.
Right? You weren't prepared for that, was you?
I wasn't. I received a gift.
Okay.
I wanted an autographed copy from an author.
Okay.
And they didn't just send me the book.
Okay.
They sent it in packaging, and it was an experience, which helped me create the next part of my business, which is where I'm creating experiences for people so that they can develop. Like I said, I don't have clients, I have relationships.
Yeah.
And my goal is to help you create a long-lasting relationship with the people that you want to do business with. And then that's how I ended up with the book video box.
That's phenomenal. You got that?
I do.
I want to see that. Let's see that. This is what Mark was talking about, being prepared, right?
Yep.
Preparation meets opportunity.
So
I love it.
when I wrote my book, I had 5 celebrities that were kind enough to endorse me and write little quotes for the back of my book and promote me on social media. And I thought I want to give a gift that will knock their socks off.
Wow.
So
what if their socks are already off?
Well, I was assured that everyone was wearing socks when they opened this box.
Gotcha.
So what I did is the person that sent me that autographed book in the video box, I created my own. But what I wanted to do for the thank you was a little bit more, and I went overboard, like completely. So I sent them the Wagmore VIP experience. Okay, so everybody received this box.
There we go.
Got it?
Yeah.
And then in the box is an autographed copy. So this box was in this box. And what I did is I created, this is, the art from my cover. I put some really cool dog quotes because my book is about life lessons I learned from my pugs. Okay, you ready for this?
Yes.
So when they and it actually scared some of them. So when they opened it up, it was a personal message from me. Kelly in here. So I'm sending you this box so you can see how I feel. And then there was a copy of the book, autographed copy of the book. And then I thought, you know what? I want to make a big experience. So it's a self-help book. So when you have a self-help book, probably I created a companion journal that went with it. So I sent them a companion journal, which has daily gratitude, list of things to do, like that. And I thought, well, when you've got a journal,
this is awesome.
You gotta write in your journal. And then, when I write my journal, I light a candle. So I created this scent.
Oh yeah.
So it's the Wagmore scent.
The Wagmore.
It does not smell like wet dog. Everybody goes, does it smell like wet dog?
That is awesome.
No, I didn't know wet dog.
So I created that. And then I thought, well, while I'm in my writing in my journal, I usually have a cup of coffee.
What?
And then I got a Keurig with the Wagmore.
Oh, that's branded up. I like that.
Yeah.
Straight up branding.
So that's what I gave as my thank you gift. So every person that received this box texted me or called me.
Wow.
And they said they were speechless.
I'm speechless right now. All I can say is wow.
So what I do for you is help you create these wow experiences for your client to help you build that relationship.
That's phenomenal. That is freaking phenomenal. Kellen, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Cars that wow, live streams that wow.
Yes.
I love it. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Robbie.
much. This is powerful. Very, very, very powerful. I'm excited. Next up, I want to call the one and only Prosperity Queen. We're going to have the Prosperity Queen come in and join us. Guys, follow these people, find these people on social media. They're awesome. I only hang around awesome people. That's all I hang around. Okay? So if they're in the room, you can assume that it's worth getting on Zoom. You know what I'm talking about?
I love it.
Here we go with Angie, the Prosperity Queen. Angie.
Hey, everybody.
The day that I met you, you were already on a whole nother level. Okay. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and your vision was super clear. You knew what you wanted to do. Tell people about what you do, and let's start right there. Introduce yourself to the world.
I'm Angie Kearns, and I am your Prosperity Queen.
Dr. Angie Kearns.
Dr. Angie
There we
Kearns. You
go.
can just call me Dr. Ange for short.
There you go.
And what I do, my target market is actually Black women. And I chose Black women because those are the ones that I most relate with, obviously. And what I like to do is help women that are professional Black women who are the most marginalized. And when I looked up that word, marginalized, I got really offended. They're the most overlooked, neglected. Everyone thinks that the Black woman is doing just fine because she's strong and she may have degrees, she may have her husband, she may have an amazing kids, and everything looks right. But they don't know her heart and they don't know what she goes through. But yet, when she's frustrated, she's called the angry Black woman. So I wanted to just knock that title right on off with the angry black woman and give you an understanding as to why she's angry. When you have systemic systems, when you have systems set up against you at the intersection of race and gender, you be angry too. When you realize that you're qualified and you're in that corporate setting, no one's listening to you. Every time you make a comment, no one, they're overlooking you. And then when you leave work, you're like making a hard dash because you got to go take care of everybody else in the community. All of that is just exhaustion. I'm trying to reverse engineer, help the women reverse engineer all the impact that those systems will have on them, as well as learn how to put them as number one.
Wow. That's powerful. So what you teach a lot about is self-love.
Absolutely self-love, which is amazing because, quite honestly, I was speaking to a woman the other day,
Okay.
and she said she coming out of a bad relationship, and she said, so right now, she was like, so I'm just loving on myself, I'm loving on my kids, and I'm loving in my business is prosperous. And I looked at her and I said, based on what you just told me, you don't know what love means. I said, so let me help you so that you can understand exactly where you are.
That's powerful.
I said, what you're doing is you're investing in the connection to yourself. You're invested in your business.
Yeah.
You're invested in your children. I said, but after a couple sessions with me, you'll know what love is, and you'll see that you've been doing it the opposite direction the whole way.
That sounds like the same thing I told my wife.
What you tell her?
What you just said. When you get done with me, you'll know what love is.
I can't take it, but I
You know
will.
what I'm saying?
That's funny, Robbie.
Seriously.
And she knows, right?
There you go.
Okay.
Absolutely. So what is love in your mind?
Love
In your
is
heart?
in my heart. Well, now that goes really deep.
Yeah.
But love is actually the ability to show up in life and be authentically yourself and
Okay.
accepting others and knowing that you're the most important person in this world, but so is everybody else. It's not judging folks. It's finding what makes you really happy, what keeps you at ease. It's ignoring all the pressures that may come up against you and know that at the end of the day, you're still fine.
That's powerful. That's powerful. So you are the prosperity queen.
Yes, sir.
When did you coin yourself the prosperity queen?
Many years ago in real estate.
Okay.
So what happened, I got into real estate back in 1998.
Okay.
Because I had a real estate transaction myself, and I was the only one at the table that looked like me, and I was the only one that got shafted. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to let this happen to any more of my black people. So I got into real estate so that I make sure that they know as much about that transaction as I do. And so as time went on and I started to renew my mind, and I started to understand that I can change my life. Just because I came from the hood don't mean I have to have a hood-like mentality.
There you go.
And so I started renewing my mind and learning what it meant to actually become new. What do you do? How you change your personality? How do you make those shifts? As I went on, I started realizing that every last one of my clients started feeling like family to me. And so I was changing their mindset too. And I learned that I wanted total life prosperity. That was prosperity in every area.
That's a book right
of
there.
my life.
Every
Yeah,
time
there
we
is.
talk, you come up with a book title.
Right.
Total prosperity.
Total life prosperity.
Total life
So
prosperity.
you can excel in every area of your life.
Phenomenal. That's absolutely phenomenal. You just came out with a book.
There's actually one out like that already.
Well, you just came out with another book.
Another book.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about my actual book?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Your book. Yeah.
Thriving, not just surviving.
100%. And it is a phenomenal read.
Thank you.
Okay. Tell us about the inspiration behind that particular book. Thriving, not surviving.
So the interesting thing is I travel a lot every single month.
Okay.
And through social media, and I share a lot because I want to inspire people to live differently. And I had a long journey. That journey comes from moving from Philadelphia with only $100 in my pocket with a U-Haul truck, a Ford Escort on the back, and then a 1-year-old sitting in a car seat in between the two buckets back then. That was long ago, right?
Wow.
So I moved down here with that. And I started, first I couldn't find a job for the longest. But then I got into daycare.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was the initial question? I get so caught up in the story.
What was the inspiration behind your book?
Okay, behind my book.
Thriving, not just surviving.
So when I got down here, you guys, my plan at that time was that, you know what, I got a kid. When I get down to Georgia, I'm going to go apply for welfare. I'm going to use that to start me so that way I can immediately get like food stamps or whatever and health care for my kid. I was like, I could do that. And I was staying with with my daughter's godmother. Well, they never approved me. I never got approved. And the only thing I came down here in my pocket was $100 in my pocket that I received the night before at my going away party.
Wow.
So as time went on, there was a lot of questions that my mother couldn't answer for me. I was just a different type of brain.
Yeah.
And so I just suffered a long time not having anybody in my circle that can help me be better, think better, do better. And so that's actually what inspired me towards that push, because I'm like, okay, now that I'm of a seasoned age, right?
Yeah.
And now I have figured out a lot of stuff through a lot of pain. Even like a couple weeks ago, I hit a wall and I didn't have anybody around that could help me there. So I had to go inward again and find my answers.
Yeah.
But I don't want everybody to have to go through the suffering that I did. So I was inspired.
You're
to
strong
somehow
enough to
start-
handle, but a lot of people are not strong enough to internalize that.
Absolutely. And I was actually, my number one thing is that I couldn't give up and couldn't quit.
That's phenomenal.
So I'm just like, I don't know what it means to quit. That means I'm stuck in this until I figure it out.
Correct. Stuck in this until I figure this thing out.
Yeah.
That's it. That's commitment.
Yeah.
Right now, you're committed to another journey. You're entering the online space. You're putting yourself out there in a new way. Talk about the mindset that you went through from not really putting yourself out there
Mhm.
to now saying, you know what, I'm gonna be in front of this camera. I'm gonna let everybody know
Absolutely.
the prosperity queen can help you live your dream.
So I'm going to say I've been suffering with this vision for 10 years. And the reason why I say suffering, because it was harassing me every night, every day. And I was not happy, Robbie. I was frustrated. I had a lot of colliding thoughts. So therefore I had this thing I call mental chaos.
Okay,
And everything was just compounded all the time. I didn't know which way was up.
gotcha.
So the interesting thing is, 2 years ago, I started with a website. I started trying to do courses and things like that, but they were weak. They were weak and had no impact, and I couldn't understand why. And then I got a referral to, first I got referred to an amazing marketer, and what she helped me realize was that my target audience was off. I didn't understand them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as a result of sharing that excitement about my mind being unlocked in that way, I was introduced to you.
Yeah.
So after getting with you, what I realized is that there is a way to organize your thoughts. There is a way to take that mental chaos and put it in mental file folder so that you can work succinctly and have success moving
100%.
forward.
That's powerful. Freaking powerful. So for anyone that wants to know what's next for Angie, the prosperity queen,
Mhm.
what are you going to tell them? What's next for you, Angie?
Oh man! Oh my gosh! What is not next? First of all, I go live every week, at
Okay.
least twice on Facebook, right?
Okay.
And so that's one. And I like to share different tips with women about how they can actually, first of all, understand what's plugging into them.
Okay.
So I'm doing a lot of that. Now I got some courses coming up.
Okay.
I already launched my book, and
Okay.
on my website, angiekearns.com, ANGIE Kearns, just like the word learns, but with an L, angiekearns.com. Scroll on down to the end of the page and you'll see a free book. It's downloadable. It's in a PDF form. It's 30 days of affirmations for Black women. That thing is a light change. I mean, change the game. I love receiving feedback from the women that have downloaded already. And they're telling me like, oh my gosh, this one woman, she took it. She says, and today's word is this, Angie, and this is how I'm utilizing it. And I mean, she got so serious. I was like, gosh, I need to go back and read that book again.
100%.
So,
Absolutely.
so I have that going. And then also I'm going to have 2 courses coming up by the end of August.
That's what I'm talking about. She's live, so y'all hold her to that. And if they want to get those courses from you, they can go to angiekearns.com.
angiekearns.com. You guys join my community. If actually you scroll down the bottom and actually sign up to receive the PDF, you'll be a part of my community already. And you'll know every time I go live. And then you'll also know whenever I release a new product, which will be the courses up next and a couple more books that come September and October.
Absolutely. And although I'm going to say this on my behalf, although Angie has a message for Black women, I've gotten messages from multiple people that are not Black that also found value in what she had to say. So even if you're not Black, Ms. Kearns can help you learn
Absolutely.
how to think more prosperous.
And you know, Robbie, the interesting thing, and thank you for saying that, because I have a huge community of all the nationalities connected to me,
Yeah.
right? But what I found, if I touch the most marginalized group, everybody else gets healed
benefit,
as well.
100%. I love that. Give me some.
All right. Oh, there's
Like
some of
that.
this.
There we go, right there. All right. Prosperity Queen, Angie Kearns, angiekearns.com. That's absolutely powerful. That's what it looks like to put yourself out there. That's what it looks like to know who you are and live from that place of knowing. And right now, I'm going to call somebody up right now that's doing his thing all over social media, did his thing in the NFL, doing his thing currently with the trucking company, and the list goes on and on and on. This is one of the most focused individuals that I know. He's an action taker. He has an idea, and the next thing you know, it is materialized. I'm going to bring up right now my man Sydney Tarver. This is power right here. Shouts out to Brandon up there from All Eyes on Media. You know Brandon Tillman? Yeah, that's Brandon Tillman right there. Yeah, awesome dude. Awesome dude.
Appreciate that
Sydney
intro,
Tarver,
man.
man.
Appreciate
What's
that
going
intro.
on,
How
brother?
you doing,
man,
buddy?
this man here is an action taker. All right. First time I met you, I said you sound like you talk. That your voice sounds like Future. Like he sounds just like Future to me. Yeah, don't it? I mean, he sounds just like him.
Sure.
All right. So, Tarver.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you done did your thing in so many ways, and you're currently reinventing yourself every single day.
Yeah.
You big on mindset. You're big on business.
For sure.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your story and what led you to think the way you think right now that has led you to who you are right now.
It was my upbringing. My mom and my father.
Okay.
They were divorced at a young age, but they were both in my life heavily.
Okay.
They were educators. My dad was a football coach. My mom was a social worker. So they always pushed me like, yeah, like in football, I might do good, but my dad like, nah, that ain't gonna get you to the next level. Like if you think that's it, you got to keep going. And in education, my mom, like I was getting bad grades in English. She'll make me like, before you go on the football field, you got to go sit with this tutor in the summer
That's
while everybody
awesome.
else playing. So I had to learn to read and write in the summer outside of school. So my parents really was always continuously investing in my education and sports and improving my skill set.
Wow, so they was already pushing you at a young age,
Yeah.
not to settle for less.
Yeah, no, I wasn't at the house
Yeah.
sitting down, playing video games all day.
Don't settle for
I
less.
had to
Keep
get out
going.
there, for sure.
That's powerful, man.
For sure.
So you get to this point in your life where you said, okay, a lot of people use that their parents are divorced as an excuse. How didn't you get to the point where you were using that as an excuse to do bad in life or whatever?
Because I mean, I always try to look forward instead of back. Like it's many of things I could have pointed to. This is why I didn't do that.
Yeah.
But that victim mentality, I don't want to have that. I've seen so many of my friends and people that I know in general. They fall accustomed to that victim mentality where it's always somebody, the man, the government.
Yeah.
They always want to put the blame on somebody instead
Yeah.
of looking inward and really holding yourself accountable to a higher standard.
So you start recognizing your true power
Yeah.
at a young age.
Yeah.
I know I got power. All I got to do is develop it. All I got to do is harness it and point it in the right direction.
That's right.
So then you get to the point that when you're in the NFL, what was that like the day that you knew you was going to do that?
It's your dream, one of your dreams, childhood, you playing football for so long for free. Well, now the college
Yeah.
kids get paid, but you was lifting weights, getting up at 6:00 in the morning for free. So when you finally, people like, oh, they made it. No, they worked 15, 16 years for free. And then you finally get that one
That's
opportunity.
powerful.
So a lot of summers and sweat. So it's a trophy for your fruits of your labor. So that's how I felt. But it was living a dream, of course.
A lot of people can't make that transition when they get out of something that they've been recognized for so long. How did you pivot? How did you make the transition from being in the NFL to running a successful logistics company with multiple employees?
Well, my parents, they were educators, so while I was going through college, they were always like, get the degree, you never know. So when it came to NFL, when your number called or you called short, it's time to pivot. And instead of being sad for myself, I know a lot of my friends who, they still lived the dream, they kept chasing it and there wasn't no money coming. But me, I was like, all right, waited. I was like, nah, let me go find a job and fall back on my degree. So I went to work for corporate America for like 10 years, but that burning fire in me, like, nah, I was just getting paid. This ain't sitting well with me. Like, I was going crazy, just ups and downs, valleys. But while I was working my job, nothing wrong with a job. I was learning the business.
How to run the
That's
business,
what I took
yeah.
from my job. So I learned that. I was eventually working for Amazon. I was blessed with the opportunity to quit Amazon and become a partner with them in the logistics program, which is what I was working in for 5 years. So I just took the knowledge that I had got with some business people, lawyers and accountants, opened the business up and hit the ground running in my business.
You have fun in what you do. I see your content every single day.
Mm.
You're having fun. You're
Yeah.
creating content now, because now, outside of having this successful logistics company, you are also growing your presence on the internet, becoming a tycoon in this online space. But you look like you're having fun. Every single video, you're smiling, you're talking about what you love. What's the inspiration behind this pivot right here that you're doing?
This pivot, you know, you want to keep elevating your level and your reach. Like, I pay attention. I read a lot of business articles and listen to a lot of influencers. I just see the way the world is going. Like, it's only going to be more social media and internet based stuff. It's not going to be this old phone book directory. that kind of them days is over. If you're not putting your message out, you're not gonna move no units or move no services or products, whatever you want.
Correct.
So you got to get on that Wi-Fi and get lit.
100%. I always told people the internet doesn't sleep.
Right.
It doesn't need time off, doesn't call in to work, doesn't need to take its son to the dentist,
Right.
miss out. Like, the internet is 24 hours, 7 days a week.
100%.
So the messages you're putting out there can not only impact somebody that's in your physical reality, but they can impact people all across the world.
That's right.
Yeah, that's very powerful. You also just did something amazing. For the first time, you created a course.
Yeah.
The course is all about?
The course is about how to start a trucking company with no driver license and no CDL and just a clean driving record. I can give you the information. It's not as hard as you think to get into the trucking industry.
That's amazing. So hold on, no CDL. So you're blowing my mind. I haven't been in the trucking industry, but the number one thing I heard about people in the trucking industry is that you needed a CDL. That's all anybody talked about.
You can get you a cargo van, a 30, 45,000 Ford Transit or a Dodge ProMaster today, and I can have you driving by tomorrow.
Wow. So they can become a business owner, or that working for somebody else as well?
You could do whatever you want. I mean, trucking is one of those industries. Yeah, you might have to be there on time, but it's still basically you, the road, and the packages. It's nobody yelling at you. Just it's more of a timely thing. So even if you want to work for somebody for a year or two, then you can do that with your own truck and get your percentage fee if they book you the loads. But I can teach you how to start your own business, dispatch, find the loads all yourself. It's however you want to take it.
That's powerful. That's very powerful. So if they want to get this course, where can they find this course, and give us the name of the course?
It's on Udemy.
Okay.
And it's the Breakaway Blueprint, how to break away from your 9-to-5 job. On Udemy, just search Sydney Tarver. We're building a platform currently, so
Absolutely.
It'll be up on the platform. Whatever we come up with, it should be put together pretty soon. So it's just gonna be a good educational platform to come learn about the trucking industry.
That's powerful. You talk a lot about mindset. How important is mindset to you?
Mindset is everything. Before, I like to tell people they want to know how to get rich, or if your mind not right, none of this stuff is gonna make you happy, or you're not gonna be satisfied with nothing if your mindset isn't right. So
I had to learn how to be happy without a dollar to my name.
Right.
So that when I did get money, I would know that the money didn't make me,
Right.
or it can't break me.
Right.
I'm just gonna be happy regardless.
Right. That's the mind. It's the mindset. So training your mind to be resilient. Failures, it's gonna come with the business. It's gonna be ups. It's gonna be downs. Don't get too high or low. Just stay even keeled throughout the journey. I mean,
it's gonna be ups and downs in business. What do you say to the business that to the person that wants that overnight success? They want to have an idea today and be rich today.
Unless you're already rich, like you're gonna have to put the work in, because you're gonna have to learn what you're doing.
Exactly.
It's no instant gratification, not from anything I've experienced in my life. Everything's been delayed, or I won't say delayed. It's perfect timing. Whenever it happens for you is the time that it's meant for you to happen.
Got to go through that learning curve, man.
Sure.
You know, you hear people talk about making, X amount of dollars in a day. You might even hear me say it, but it took me years to get to that point where I can make X amount of dollars in a day. It took you years to get to the point where you had a bunch of people working up under you. So the problem that I see is people see you at the finish line, and they want to start at the finish line. Yeah. They don't want to start.
With the negative.
Exactly. You got to be able to start in the red in order to get ahead. I just came up with that.
Bars, for sure.
Bars, right?
100%.
Tarver, man, you're one of the most influential people that I know with your mindset, your spirit. You just seem like a real good, genuine person. And I think you're gonna help a lot of people out, man. Where can everybody follow you at on social media?
Everything, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, everything Sydney P. Tarver.
Okay.
SIDNEY Tarver, TARVER on all platforms.
Man, I call that the Tarver mindset. If you ain't got that Tarver mindset, you ain't gonna make it.
For sure.
This man is an action taker. You know, we talk about ideas, and that's cool. It's cool to get high off ideas, but he takes action. He's like, yo, I already did this and did this and did this. That's how you got to be if you want to get into this online space and stay ahead of the game. All right, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
Follow Robbie, man.
Absolutely.
He's a great guy, a good mindset, good everything, man. Nothing but positive vibes.
Nothing but positive, man. That's what we're doing. This is what it's about. Having that mindset. He has a resilient mindset. You got to have that resilient mindset if you want to go to the next level. I'm about to call somebody up right now that I just met a few weeks ago. She is doing her thing in the real estate sector, and I think she already is a force to be reckoned with in her mindset. I'm talking about the one and only Janae. Janae, let's talk to the people. Tell people who you are. Let's do it. Let's do it. Talk that talk. Talk the talk, and then you walk the walk. All right.
Right, awesome.
So you're in the real estate sector. Tell people who you are first and foremost.
Yes, hi everyone. I am Miss Janae Rochelle Lundy. I'm sorry, Lundy is my last name. And any platform, I am Janae Lundy, Miss Janae Lundy. LinkedIn, Instagram. I am originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. My family. If you're just looking at us, you wouldn't think that my family has much, but it's a lot of love. And actually, my family, when they buy property, this is how I got into real estate. They buy the entire street. It's literally like monopoly.
Wow.
So I grew up subconsciously seeing it, but not understanding what is going on.
Ah,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so at 22, I owned my first business. I was a personal trainer.
Mhm.
I just jumped out there. Never been afraid to jump and do anything in life, ever. Once I closed my gym, I became an interior designer. I love design. I love getting dressed up. I love seeing things that are very pleasing to the eye. So that was one aspect of it. Then I became a realtor. My clients were like, Janae, we're paying you $2,000-$3,000 to design our kitchen, but we just paid our realtor $20,000 to buy this house, or so they like, I think you need to think
switch
a little
it up.
bigger.
Yeah,
you need to
wow,
switch it up.
Wow, that's an eye opener right there.
Yeah, it was
Dang.
major for me.
Okay.
Got my realtor's license. I was learning so much, but I didn't like the environment in Atlanta of real estate agents. I didn't like the salesy kind of part to it. Like if someone is having second doubts, they teach you how to overcome objections. I didn't like that. If this is something that is not a good fit for you, then we gonna move on.
Yeah.
But if you don't close, you don't get paid.
That's right.
So I don't like the idea of forcing people to do things that they
may
not want to do.
Their subconscious mind is telling them this might not be the best move.
Correct.
But you're trained to override their subconscious mind.
Correct.
Which could cause people to have buyer's remorse.
Right, exactly.
That's phenomenal.
And I actually looked up reviews of real estate agents in Atlanta, and they were terrible.
Wow.
They were so bad.
Wow.
Like, it made me second guess being a realtor. And so what I did was I switched to commercial real estate with Coldwell Banker Commercial. But switching to commercial real estate, you're not just doing office buildings and stuff like that. You're also working with a lot of investors.
Okay.
And that could be multifamily. It's still residential, but if it's over 4 units, then it's considered commercial real estate.
Gotcha.
Even
I didn't know
with
that.
purchasing land, it may be land, but it's zoned commercial.
So that's commercial property.
Correct.
That's power. That's
apartment buildings considered commercial real estate. It's not considered residential. So as I got into working with investors, now I am learning how they make their money. So many different ways. And I'm like, the average person can be doing this, but they don't know the steps to get into something like this.
Wow.
So that's why I created Lundy and Company, which is a company that educates and walk through step by step with the average person who wants to get into real estate investing, not knowing how. If you don't have enough money, I will pull together different investors, no matter how small. I will put the deal together and bring everyone to the table and show them how they can eat.
My brain is twirling right now. I'm like, I need a piece of that.
Yeah.
I need some of that info.
So in a nutshell, this is how the majority of the processes go. I find a deal. I talk to my lender about it before I even bring everyone to the table. And
get the money, you secure the bag.
We run the numbers first.
Okay.
To see if it's something that my lender is interested in backing.
Okay.
Once he sees the value in it, he tells me, okay, he's going to give us a hard money loan. And a hard money loan is basically a construction loan. They'll purchase the property and fund the construction part, but you have to pay a percentage down, and you also have to have a percentage, basically like a contingency sitting in the bank account to start, and they will refund you as the project is going on.
Gotcha.
You started at, let's say the deal altogether is $300,000 to do. At the end, the value of the home is, let's say, $530,000. They will do another product called a DSCR loan that buys you out of your construction loan at that $515,000 or that $530,000, and now you have a mortgage for that $530,000. But now you're walking around with that $200,000 in your pocket.
Gotcha.
And what we do is we put a renter in that's paying that mortgage for that $515,000. So not only do you have that $200,000 in your pocket, your renter is paying your new mortgage, and as it gains equity, you're making money that way. And when you are an investor that have rental property, those are the best tax savings you're going to have in real estate whatsoever.
You're providing homes to multiple people at once.
Correct. And you can write off all the personal property. You can write off the depreciation. You can defer depreciation on the house and the personal property within it. So the stove, the refrigerator, nothing is going to waste when it comes down for those when it's time for those taxes.
That is phenomenal.
And then when you get your now that your house has gained equity, you always find times to pivot on when you sell. You can keep it for however. You have to keep it for over a year and a day in order to not be considered a dealer within the IRS eyes.
Okay.
And so what I do is I rinse and repeat this process over and over again. I have two different
year and
contracts.
a day. A year and a day is how long you have to. Okay, got
Correct.
it. Because if you are perceived to be a dealer, you're taxed differently.
Correct.
Got it. Wow.
And what I do, I have two different. You can either be an angel investor. So I have people who they just want, once that refinance hit, they just want their money back. They don't want to keep the property and have to manage it, and they don't want to hire. They just want to put money in and get money out.
Do I have to have wings in order to be an angel investor?
No.
I'm just messing around.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to.
You know what I'm saying?
You have a couple feathers.
Okay, a couple feathers. That's it.
You can actually use your business credit. You don't even have to come completely out of your pocket. You can pull equity out of a home that you currently have. There's pull equity out of an IRA, a 401k. There's so many different ways you can obtain the funding. You don't even have to risk it all.
So I got somebody named Rick P right there. He wants to know, do you need good credit to invest in commercial real estate?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends on the deal. It depends on who's lending for you. There's some, if you have assets, you may be able to leverage your assets.
Okay.
You might have something your lender consider is an asset to them. You never know. You got to get into conversation with these money people and figure out how you can close the deal. I have an uncle who does real estate in Louisiana, and he told me something about a community act that majority banks have that lends to minority groups, and they have to lend a certain amount out every year. And people don't know this. I didn't know this.
I didn't know.
No
that.
one likes talking to my uncle because, according to my aunt, you know, at Thanksgiving or Christmas, he only want to talk about real estate and money.
I like that guy
Lucky-
already.
Lucky
Let's
for
talk
me,
about that. Introduce him to me. I want to talk
I
about
hadn't
that.
seen my uncle in years. So lucky for me, this past Thanksgiving, I show up at Thanksgiving dinner, and this is all he wanted to talk about.
Let's
and I'm like, great.
Let's talk.
I'm like, absolutely, let's do it.
So have you always had this mindset that, you know, that insinuated that you were just going to go out and accomplish what you wanted to accomplish for yourself? Or did you develop it?
Well, I played sports my entire life.
Okay,
and
got
sports
it.
Definitely puts that mindset, that
That's what you
fight or
about.
flight type mindset in. It's always and I also watch Africa's Deadliest on Disney Plus.
What?
I know this
What is that about?
It is about all the different, it's the
Animals?
animal kingdom.
Okay.
Absolutely. And every day they have to get up and they have to hunt, either, you know,
I
eat or
love
be
that.
eaten.
I used to watch shows like that. I didn't
Yeah.
know what it was called, but I love that. I think that if we lived more like that, it'll
Yeah.
make you appreciate what you have.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it makes you appreciate the balance of life.
I have to eat what I kill.
Yeah.
That's it. I love that.
Yeah.
But then you are also wise enough. See, this is where the wisdom comes in. You understand that you have to eat what you kill, but you're also wise enough to understand that you don't want to be a pushy. So
Yeah.
I like that. That takes awareness.
Eat what you kill or eat what you plant as
Ooh.
well. So if I could plant, if I can make a garden, plant a garden, and I can teach my niece how to be a gardener, and I can teach my nephew how to be a gardener, the family eats. And if they can teach their friends are eating. So that's what my company really represents, is to change out. These big corporations are doing this same exact thing how I just explained it. They're doing it with apartment buildings, with commercial buildings. It's so, I wouldn't even call it simple, but it's such a process that anybody can do. We can come together, put this money together. I don't care if you got 10, if you got 5, you got
That's
2.
what I was just talking about with
Let's
the
put
digital
it
real
together
estate.
and let's make it happen.
That's how they build these investment groups.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
And that's my goal. And that's why I said my end goal is to be a venture capitalist and to plant, teaching people how to plant.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
We'll never go hungry ever again.
That's why I created Web Asset Group.
That's why I created that.
The what? Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. So it's really just you know, teaching people how to build their own wealth, not depend on companies, not depend
In the
on
system.
Yeah.
You want to use the system, but not abuse the system.
Leverage the system.
Yeah, leverage that thing.
Leverage it for your.
Don't live off of
And
it.
there's so many things. Never be afraid. I'm a student when it comes to life. I want to keep learning, and that's how I ended up getting to the point that I'm at now. Every time I got to a point where I felt like I was getting comfortable, I got uncomfortable. Like mentally, I'm like, this can't be it. Like what else is next? And I just kept going from there. And even with commercial real estate, and this is funny because y'all kind of just said this. Somebody had told me like, oh, you got to crawl before you can walk. I said, well, what if my definition of crawling is your definition of running?
Ooh.
My mind, I have the capacity
Mindset
to consume a certain amount of information. It took you to get all the way to this point to become you. It took you to this point to become that person. I am this person now.
And usually that mindset is coming from a person that's still crawling.
Yeah, that thinks they're running. But
Yeah,
like
exactly.
no, like you said, when you dumb it down to the top people of these companies, they got A plus B equals C. That's it. Where the person that has the 3 degrees and all this, they gotta find such the technicality to. At the end of the day, 1 + 2 is 3,
There
and that's how I'm gonna put it together, and we're gonna roll with that. So that's what I have been doing with my company, and I have been successful with it. And right now, I have clients who got $250,000 to invest. I got clients that only got 15 to invest. Whatever you got, we're gonna put it together. We're gonna fund the deal, and we're gonna make it happen.
That's powerful right there. Where can people contact you at if they wanna do some business with you?
So that's why I'm here.
Okay.
This is my new office. I am building a more stable platform for this business. I have been operating from my realtor's offices,
Yeah.
and now it's time for me to put this thing in one place where everyone can find me. But you can find me on any social media platform at Miss Janae Lundy or Janae Lundy or Miss Janae
Spell Lundy,
Rochelle.
L-O-N-D-Y?
L-U-N-D-I-E.
Okay, L-U-N-D-I-E.
Correct.
Okay.
L-U-N-D-I-E. Janae is J-A-N-A-Y.
Janae Lundy.
Yes.
Janae Lundy. That's a powerful name.
Thank you. I don't have any kids, so my motivation is my niece.
Okay.
She looks up to me like I'm the standard. She like, look, she work out, she eat healthy, she believe in God. My niece is like, you are it for me.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
So you know she watching you, so that's your motivation.
Absolutely. That's I can't fail. I don't got no kids. She is my kid, and she admires the ground I walk on.
That's phenomenal.
It's when you have somebody that's looking up to you in that manner. Like I already looked at myself up here, but she makes me look up at myself up here.
She believes you can do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna show her that you can do anything that you put your mind to.
That's powerful. Janae, give me some. Boom. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Janae Lundy, everybody. If you want to get into this commercial real estate game.
Yes, any real estate game.
Or any real estate game.
Small, big. It's all big when you look at it because you're changing your life and the people's lives around you.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got some very powerful people in the room today. Next up here, I am going to call the one and only Margaret Ann Newsom. Margaret Ann Newsom, we coming in here with this person right here that I'm about to bring to the stage or to the seat here. Margaret Ann Newsom, one of the most amazing people I know on this planet, will literally do anything to help you out, to help anybody. Margaret Ann, who are you and what do you do?
Well, that's a loaded question.
All right.
I am Margaret Ann Newsom, and I do several things. I'm a real estate broker in Georgia.
Okay.
I also am a consultant for a wellness company, and that's the part of my business that I'm going to focus on growing right now. I am teaching people how to activate their bodies and feel better about themselves, to take back control of their life and their health. I know so many people that are just sick and tired all the time, and you don't have to live like that.
That's right.
I didn't realize that I was living like that. I didn't realize that I was basically stuck in survival mode for such a long time. And then my cousin introduced me to these products that I started taking, and this fog in my brain just lifted.
Wow.
And I didn't realize how much of a fog I had been living in until it was gone.
Wow.
It was like my brain turned on. And then I looked around, or not really just around, but more so within, at myself and my life. And I had a lot of work to do. I had a lot of stuff that needed to be cleaned up and worked on. And so for the past 4 years, I've been working on getting it together, I guess.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How are you balancing that? Because when I met you, you taught me how to go over and beyond for other people. Now, basically, what you're saying is you're going over and beyond for yourself now, while serving other people, of course. But when did you develop that mindset that you were going to, go out of your way to help somebody? Because you're really amazing at that.
I don't know. I just always grew up helping other people. And I don't know. I'm just a helper. That's just what I do. I just help people. And I think somewhere along the way, I got to helping other people so much,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't help myself.
Gotcha.
And I think that's why what I'm doing now is really just such a good fit, because in order to help myself kind of with this business, I have to help other people.
There you go.
So it's
That's
a
awesome.
win-win.
That's awesome.
So if I can teach people how to get their health back
Mm-hmm.
and feel better and help people understand, like, you don't have to keep living the way that you are. There is a better way. It not only helps that person, but it helps their family. You know, everybody around them, it ripples out into
Correct.
the world.
Correct.
And so you can't put a price on your health. And I enjoy helping people. I mean, it's rewarding. I don't even care, so
Doesn't
much
even
about
feel
the
like
money.
work. Yeah.
I enjoy helping people.
And it doesn't feel like work when you enjoy it.
Mm-mm.
It just feels like,
No.
you're doing it feels like you're playing when you're helping somebody else. That's how I feel doing what I do for a living. I feel like I'm helping people all the time. I feel like I'm
You
playing.
are.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm playing
You are
all the
helping
time.
people all the time.
So you're
Yeah.
also in real estate, but you also have a phenomenal product that you talk about all the time. Tell us about that product.
Mm-hmm. Well, the flagship product is Protandem, and what it does, it activates your body. It turns on genes, it flips switches in your body to make your body produce its own antioxidants, detoxes your cells, reduces inflammation in your body. Inflammation is a major component of a vast majority of health issues, and people don't know that. They don't understand how much inflammation affects your body, but when you reduce it and you allow your body to work the way that it is designed to work, it just changes everything.
Wow. That's powerful. So you said that you didn't know how cloudy you were until you realized until you started taking these supplements.
Mm-hmm.
Give us one of the benefits that you saw after your mind got clear. Like what's one thing you gained, or what's one insight that you had? How did it increase your life or your productivity?
Well, I was able to focus a lot more, not being just so scatterbrained all the time.
Gotcha.
And I was able just to realize a lot. Like I say, I didn't realize I wasn't living. I was just stuck in survival mode. Like I was on autopilot.
I've been hearing about survival mode a lot.
Yeah, I was the one who did everything for everybody all the time.
Except for yourself.
Except for myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I wasn't living.
Yeah.
And so we've
been taught to put other
taking
people,
my life back.
Well, we've been taught to put like everybody else before we put ourselves a lot of times. Like just, look out for everybody else and kind of leave yourself on the back burner, especially if you're a woman. Let's be honest. If you're a woman, you expect to be a nurturer. You expect to take care of everybody. And you're now saying, you know what? I'm breaking that stigma. I'm going to serve people. I'm going to help people still, but I'm going to put myself first as well. Talk about that shift. What type of internal dialogue did you go through?
What happened was I didn't realize how bad off I was. I knew something wasn't right. I didn't realize how burnt out I was. And so finally I said, okay, something just isn't right. Like this isn't me. I am a nice person, right?
Yeah.
I was not a nice person. Like I wanted to just kill people every day.
Yeah.
People got on my every last nerve. I mean, really, I was just, I was so frustrated and irritated, and I would just cry at the drop of a hat. And I was a basket case, and I thought something is bad wrong. So I went to the doctor, and I was like, okay, I want you to take my blood. Well, any kind of blood test there is, just do it all because something's wrong. So I spent $1,300 to figure out
What was wrong?
what, they took a bunch of blood from me.
Mm.
Anyway, so I had to go back, a week later to get all my results, and the lady comes in and she was like, yeah, she's like looking over my chart, and I'm like, well, this ain't good. She's like taking me a really long time to, say what it is. Well, she comes in and she says, you're anemic.
Mm.
Your ferritin levels are critically low. You have hypothyroidism, which I already knew my thyroid was kind of messed up, but I wasn't taking the medicine. I was B12 deficient. I was vitamin D deficient. There was a couple of other things that were off that I can't. There was so many I just don't remember off the top of my head. But basically, what she said to me was, she said, if you don't stop working like you're working, you're fixing to be in the hospital.
Y'all don't understand what I mean. What she means when she says working like she was working.
No, I had 3 full-time jobs, and I have 5 kids, and I've
You could call her at 5 in the morning.
a bunch
She
of
would
different
come.
businesses, and I did a lot. And so she says, you need to quit all your jobs. You need to go home and get in the bed for a month. She said, you need to physically sleep at least 10 hours a day, and you need to take this bag full of medicine. I was like, I don't take medicine.
Yeah.
Like, ever. I don't take medicine. I am not a medicine person.
Me either.
That was really, really hard. So it took me about 3 months. I did not go home and quit all my jobs because, I have to live, I mean, I couldn't afford to do that.
Yeah.
It took me about 3 months to implement what they were telling me to do because I am not a medicine taker, and I had to take one thing at the time and get in my mind that you need to do this. Anyway, I finally did get balanced out, and I could tell it was helping. But towards the end of the year, I ran out of everything, and I thought, maybe I just don't need this stuff anymore. Maybe my body's balanced out and I can, maintain without it. So I'm just not going to go get it. That's not a good idea. So over the next 2 or 3 months, I could tell I was backsliding, but I didn't want to give in yet. But I knew I was going back the other way. And that was about the time that my cousin had told me about the Protandim.
Wow.
And it was all natural. It's plant-based. It's just 5 herbs blended together. It's the synergy of it is what makes it work.
Yeah.
It's the different ingredients are not going to do the same thing as it together because it's the synergy
of
the
all
herbs
3 of those.
together.
Okay, got it.
5 of them all together. So I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to try this and just see what happens. And it worked. It was great.
That's phenomenal.
But I felt even better than I had felt when I was balanced out before.
Wow.
And but yeah, when that fog lifted and I looked around, and there was so much that I had been overlooking for such a long time because I was just on autopilot. It was kind of scary. All the stuff that it was almost like waking up out of a coma and oh my gosh, what has been going on for the last 20 years while I've been, in this fog. And so I've had a lot of personal growth stuff to do, a lot of just journeys.
A lot of journeys.
So,
you come from a family of entrepreneurs. I've never met a family member of yours that didn't own a business.
That's probably true.
Everybody's an entrepreneur. When did that happen? Who was the first person you knew in your family that was an entrepreneur, was a business owner?
I guess, probably my great-great-granddad.
Wow.
My granddaddy, I guess.
That's powerful. When I met Ronnie, he was probably 18. And the first thing you told me about Ronnie is that he's about to start his own pool cleaning service. 18 years old.
Yeah, I think he was 21 when he started.
Company's very successful now.
Yeah, he's doing really well.
Yeah, very, very successful. Great guy. Whole family is great. So talk about that. How important is entrepreneurship to you? And then also share with us, how do you stay focused doing so many different things? Because you get, your family owns so much. You own so much. How do you stay focused in entrepreneurship?
Well, I think it was important to me to be able to own my own time.
Yeah.
Because I do want to be able to participate in my kids' stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want somebody to tell me, oh, you can't go to that because you have to work.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, if Travis has a paintball event, I'm going. And I'm just not going to not go.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to be able to own my own time. I'm just not real good at working for other people.
Yeah, same. Kate just said your name right there.
What did he say?
Kate, she says Margaret Ann.
Yeah, I was thinking about her earlier today.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been fun if she had to come.
Yeah,
here.
we're gonna have some more though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But so you were asking me about why was it important? What was the other part?
How do you stay focused? Yeah, how do you stay focused?
I have to time block.
Okay.
I have to time block. You know, okay, from this time to this time, I'm doing this company. From this time to this time, I'm doing this one.
Yeah.
And I just have to time map everything out. And I learned a very long time ago to make appointments with myself.
Ooh.
I'm going to make an appointment with myself. I'm going to do this at this time, and this is the way it's going to get done. And that's just how I work.
Wow.
I
That's
have to
powerful.
make an appointment with myself.
I love it.
And even if it's to make an appointment with myself to take care of myself, that I had to learn to prioritize that.
That's phenomenal. So if anybody wants to know about Pro Tandem, or anything that you have going on that can help them lift the mental fog, where can they go to contact you?
Well, my website right now for that is margaretannewsome.lifevantage.com.
Okay.
Which is very long. I am in the process of building a platform. It's going to be activatewellness.today.
Okay.
And on that platform, I'm going to talk about the 8 components of wellness.
Okay.
Where I can help people learn all the things that I just told you about.
That's powerful. Powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful. Thank you
that'll
so
be
much.
coming in the future.
Margaret Ann, I appreciate you so much. It's
Thank
an honor
you.
to have you
I
here.
appreciate you.
Y'all check her out, Margaret Ann Newsome. You can visit margaretannewsome.lifevantage.com to hear more about this amazing product. And I've tried it myself, so I definitely recommend it. Got to get back on it. You just reminded me of that, because Yoga Body Robbie's in full effect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret Ann.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Absolutely.